Welcome to World Transits Today, practicing in the tradition of Stanislav Grof and Richard Tarnas, blending consciousness research with astrology. I'm Art Granoff, and here's today's transits, and we'll be focusing today on the Sun, Mercury, Saturn, and Pluto on this special Archetypal News Network edition. So let's start out today with Sun conjunct Mercury. Just started for 1 month. The conjunction is the easiest aspect to understand because it's simply the union of two planetary energies with a dynamic quality. The conjunction tends to signify patterns of action rather than passive states of being, says Robert Hahn from Horoscope Symbols. The Sun's about my personal concerns, my interests going forward. Mercury's all mental activities, understanding, learning, expressing ourselves. The Sun is me, what I'm drawn to or run from, what I want and how I get it. Mercury as executive suite, where I think, plan, and organize. Though I may concretize thought and close it in stone as absolute, leaving no room for another opinion. Let's cite the official story, religion, law, love, the New York Times, and so on. Sun conjunct Mercury, the capabilities of our mind illuminated by the sun. Intense clarity, what we see is what we get. The sun, my identity, merged with the bright light of day, my intellectual process, thinking, understanding, then telling us all about it. From Carl Jung, reason must always seek the solution in some rational, consistent, logical way, which is certainly justifiable enough in normal situations, but is entirely inadequate when it comes to the really great and decisive questions. With Sun conjunct Mercury in her chart, please welcome Liz Greene, Jungian analyst, astrologer, and author. And there she is. Liz Greene has been one of the most consistently popular astrologers of the 20th century. Her many books remain in print. Greene became quickly famous with Saturn, a new look at an old devil, in which she applied Jungian psychology to revise the image of Saturn as a planet of misfortune, recasting it in a more Jungian image that has continued to be very popular into the 21st century. Liz Greene also created Astro.com, the web's premier free astrology program. And here's her chart, Liz Greene, Sun conjunct Mercury, right over there. And now, let's bring in American poet Diane de Prima. Here she is. Feminist beat poet Diane de Prima was born in Brooklyn, New York. She moved to Greenwich Village, becoming a writer in the emerging beat movement. There, she developed friendships with poets Allen Ginsberg and Jack Kerouac. After joining Timothy Leary's intentional community in upstate New York, she moved to San Francisco in 1968. Diane de Prima has published more than 40 books. She was named Poet Laureate of San Francisco in 2009. She taught at the Jack Kerouac School of Disembodied Poetics at the Naropa Institute, the California College of Arts and Crafts, and in the Master in Poetics program at the New College of California. And here's her chart. We see Sun opposite Saturn. Saturn's strength, what's solid, wrapped in tradition, safety. With her identity, the Sun, building practical structures, writing books. Sun Saturn, standing on sturdy ground, firm resolution, our worldview, identifying with order, the policeman, lawyer, the poet, doing constructive work, modeling society based on traditional values. Son Saturn also, the stern redeemer who cuts us off from the infidels, teaches, declares, then judges what is right and what's not, claiming the moral ground, enclosing us with rules, laws, fear of punishment. She has Mercury conjunct Pluto, communicating, plunging beneath the surface. Mercury the poet, facing the grand buffet of words, their meanings, their hidden meanings, the excellent and highly nuanced selections of which ones to choose, as one of life's greatest thrills, say writers everywhere. Pluto's about depth, what's underneath our skin, our mind, everyday life, reminding us that there's more to life when we look further, or when that more to life comes visiting. Pluto's what we find with a telescope or a microscope, stuff we couldn't see by ourselves or have any understanding of. Pluto sucker punches us regularly. We're so easy. Pluto sets us up so naturally through trials, suffering. Here, take this, a full plate of punishment. We reduce Pluto's air supply by facing ourselves through a method, one that's previously provided relief. I'm selecting daily meditation, psychedelics, and holotropic breathwork. In session, we face Pluto directly, finding the emperor naked with no clothes, also known as being born again. And here's Diane de Prima's poem, Song for Baby-O, Unborn. Sweetheart, when you break through, you'll find a poet here, not quite what one would choose. I won't promise you'll never go hungry, or that you won't be sad on this gutted, breaking globe. But I can show you, baby, enough love to break your heart forever. Thank you, Diane de Prima. And now, let's welcome Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Born August 1749, was a German poet, playwright, novelist, scientist, theater director, and critic. His works include plays, poetry, literature, and aesthetic criticism. His masterpiece, Faust, a tragedy, first published in 1808, is considered by many as the greatest work of German literature. Here's the story. Faust is bored and depressed with his life as a scholar. After an attempt to take his own life, he calls on the devil for further knowledge and magical powers, to indulge with all the pleasure and knowledge of the world. Then the devil's representative appears. He makes a bargain with Faust. Mephisto will serve Faust with his magic powers for a set number of years. But at the end of the term, the devil will claim Faust's soul, and Faust will be eternally enslaved. And here's a modern version, American style. Please welcome Robert Johnson. Here's his chart. Robert Johnson, Sun Mercury, Saturn conjunction, Sun semi-square Pluto. Something's bubbling up. During his brief life, 1911 to 1938, blues musician Robert Johnson left a legacy of music that would outlive him and would grow over time. Notables such as Eric Clapton and Keith Richards have proclaimed him one of the finest blues musicians that ever lived. Starting out, he had no talent for guitar. At one point during his young adult years, he left his home in Mississippi and wandered around the area for several months. When he returned, he possessed guitar-playing skills far beyond those he could have learned in the short amount of time he had been gone. Rumors spread that Robert Johnson and the devil made a pact so he could obtain guitar-playing talent. One version said that Johnson met the devil at a crossroads outside of town, where the devil tuned a guitar and gave it to Johnson to play. And play he did. Listeners were stunned by Johnson's sudden talents. Johnson only fueled the rumors by writing a song called Me and the Devil. On the transit timeline, we see right here, Sun conjunct Mercury through mid-August. Sun conjunct Mercury, my identity, merged with the bright light of day, thinking, understanding, and communicating the results. Also, too hot, too brainy, too much. Sun opposite Saturn around the same amount of time. Sun-Saturn, our worldview, identifying with order, or the authority, always knows what's best, get off my lawn. And Mercury conjunct Pluto just got here through the beginning of August. Mercury conjunct Pluto, expressing depth through communication, plunging beneath the surface, facing what's there. Or fearful expression, domination, you must, you better. Thanks for tuning to World Transits Today, everybody. Archetypal News Network edition. World Transits Today is available every day at my website, Reference Astrology, and the audio version at Apple Podcasts. Contact me to schedule a birth chart and transit reading, where we explore your chart and apply world transits, showing us your personal transits, revealing what's up for you. And see you tomorrow.